Son, please come back. I miss you, and I need you for this video. Hey guys, it's me again, Bryn, the weird book nerd person. And guess who's doing another book review? Me! It's The Daughter of Smoke and Bone by LAINI Taylor. Woo! I'm just gonna state right now that the sun keeps on going in and out behind the clouds, so sometimes I have good lighting, other times I don't. I have no control over weather! This is the first book in a trilogy, and I actually haven't read the other two yet. I just recently read this one, so I'm not gonna spoil anything for future books! I feel like I'm gonna do this every single time that I do a book review, but can we talk about the cover? I love this cover. I was gonna get this book in the hardcover, but it showed more of her face in that one, and I liked that not only was she wearing a mask in this, but it's half of the face. I just thought it was a little bit more mysterious, so I was like, I'm going for the paperback. I like the coloring of it too, how it's just this neutral background, and the only coloring you get are the mask and LAINI Taylor. I don't know why I like that. I just do. Don't judge. So it's kind of hard to give a description of this book without giving stuff away, but the general synopsis of it. There's a girl named Karu. She lives in Prague, and she doesn't know anything about who she is, really. I mean, she knows her name, she knows all that stuff, but she doesn't know where she comes from. In the most vague way I can say this, the book is about Karu and her finding stuff about herself. It's the first book in a series. It's just gonna be lots of backstory. I mean, let's be honest here. She's been raised by this ragtag group of creatures that are called chimera. They're like an animal puzzle piece of different parts of creatures. Horns, or snake parts, or human parts. That's the best description I can give of chimera. The book has this really interesting world where there are demons, like the chimera. I generally think of chimera as demons for some reason. I don't know if they're actually demons. I just think of the chimera as demons. So, demons slash chimera. And then there are angels, there are humans that don't realize that there's this other world, and basically lots of stuff goes down. Even on the back, all that it says is, who is the daughter of Smoke and Bone? Like, that's it. That's it. It doesn't give a description of the book, so for me to try and describe it without giving plot points away, it's really difficult to do that, okay? What I can say though is the world is really interesting. I like the different creatures going on and like the two different warring sides. One thing that I do like is the fact that angels and the chimera are on the same level. Neither one of them is more morally sound than the other. The angels, who you would expect to be this like super prestigious kind group. No. They are actually so flawed. And the chimera, who are like demons, who you would expect to be awful and cause mischief. No. They have some really nice, kind chimera too. I just like that there's good and bad in both groups. Like, there's not one that's better than the other. They're on the same level. I will say that the characters are what made this book so enjoyable to me. They're just so funny, and they're goofy, and they're odd. Especially Karu's best friend, Susanna. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and then because I like doing percentage points, I also gave it an 87%. Compared to my last 2 book reviews, this one has been the lowest score. Part of that reason is because I fell in love with those other books so much. Those were 2 of the best books that I have read in a really, really long time. But the other part is there were things in this book that just didn't jive with me too well. The worst part is they weren't even big things that I was worrying about. They were just these tiny little things, which is why it was still 4 out of 5 stars. I still thought this book was really entertaining, but there were things, tiny little things, but there were things that I was just not too fond of. This book is so hard to explain without giving away spoilers because you basically start off the book with nothing. You don't know anything about the world, so I'm trying not to give too much away. So if you don't want to be spoiled, please click away or pause. Click away or pause. Can I give the book my bangs? Are all the people that don't want to be spoiled gone? Let's hope so. To start off the spoilery section, I didn't like the insta-love. And I get that it wasn't exactly insta-love, because when Kaoru and Akiba met, they were kind of fighting, and he was trying to kill her, and she was just trying to run away and live. But it still felt like insta-love. Akiba stops himself from landing that killing blow because something in her face and the little tilt of her head reminded him of Madrigal.
Oh, there was something about her that I just couldn't stop but love.
And then when Akiba was away and Kaoru was by herself after he tried to kill her, Kaoru's sitting there thinking about Akiba like,
you know what? He was really pretty and there was just something so wonderful about him.
I didn't like it. I get it. They're soulmates. They were together in another life, or at least one of them in another life, but no, it was way too fast for me. I didn't like how quickly it was going. There wasn't enough development of the relationship and I got upset by it. Along with that relationship, there's the whole Romeo and Juliet complex thing going on. Why does one of them have to die because of loving the other? It did bring my opinion of the book down a teeny bit, because I still really liked it and I thought that their love story is kind of cute, especially when you go back and see Madrigal and Akiba. I'm like, oh, adorable. But just how quickly it went and the fact that it was so Romeo and Juliet, and it was too much for me. And along with Madrigal, the part at the end where it's going into Madrigal's life and it's flashbacks right when Kaoru is getting those memories back. Going into Madrigal's point of view for like over 50 pages, right when Kaoru is set to go find Brimstone and the others, I just felt like it distracted way too much away from Kaoru's story. Like, I was sitting here reading Madrigal's death, and I was like, I don't care about this. I already read about this from Akiba's point of view. Can we just move on to finding Brimstone? Come on. That's not to say I didn't like it. I thought it was a really interesting read. I just didn't like it placed at the end of the novel when a lot more stuff was gonna happen. I thought it would have been perfect to start the beginning of a second book. That way you get background story, you reintroduce the reader to the world. Maybe it was just me, but I definitely felt like I got placed out of the story for a second just because of that. It made me disconnect to the story and the plot line. Character-wise, I thought it was really awesome. Starting off with Kaoru, she's great. She's a little spunky butthead, and I love it. The whole thing with Kaz, and she's just takes one of her charms and makes him itch. Kaoru, he totally deserves it, and the fact that you're willing to do that, I didn't mind following her around. I was like, where she's going, I'll follow. She's great. I feel like she's actually gonna change a little bit now that she has Madrigal's memories back, because it's gonna be a mixture of those two now, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm really skeptical. And then there's Akiba. From the first mention of Akiba, when he's like placing his hand on the wall and marking it, I'm like, okay, something is up with you. So something's gonna go on. I do like the love story. I just thought that it was a little fast-paced, but the fact that Akiba went up against his two best friends and people that are like practically his family, just for Kaoru, it was just heartbreaking, and I just wanted to cry for him. I was like, oh, you poor thing. As for other characters, Susanna's my favorite. I love Susanna. She was just so funny. Every scene that she was in, I found myself laughing. When Susanna first meets Akiba, she's set to punch him in the face.
No, this guy tried to kill my best friend. He is going down.
And then she sees him.
Must mate immediately.
I actually sent my best friend that line, a picture of it, and I was like, this is you. This is actually you. And her whole like marionette kind of skit that she does for an art project, even though it felt out of the whole plot line, I thought it was really cute. I thought it was interesting. I liked how Kaoru went out of her way for her friend. I like the fact that Kaoru can talk to Susanna now. I think that their friendship's just gonna grow, and I just want more of Susanna. And then there's Brimstone. I don't know why, but when I first pictured him, like in her drawings, I pictured like this old geezer. And just from the way that Kaoru talks to him in real life, I just kind of switched to like this weird creature-like version of Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird. He just seemed like this wise father figure, and I loved it so much. I thought it was He's just a huge part of not only Karu's life, but Madrigal's life. And when Brimstone kicked her out, I got so upset. I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I cried. That was the one time in this that I cried. Then of course the whole place gets set on fire and I'm like, oh no, now Brimstone's really gone. Although I have to say, I still refuse to believe that Brimstone is completely gone. I don't think that he's dead. My brain just will not process that information. I'm like, okay, how did Brimstone get out of this? So that's about it that I'm gonna say about this book. If you want to talk about it and discuss it with me, please go into the comments below and start typing stuff up and I will be down there too to talk to you about it. I will also have a link to my Goodreads page if you want to see my review on this book or any of the other ones that I have read. And like I have for the last 2 books, I will be leaving different songs below in the description box that I think go really, really well with this book. Besides that, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe if you think I'm awesome. Cross his fingers hoping that you think I'm cool.
That is it, and I will be going. Bye!
Wait, where'd I put the...